Brody decides to split the team up, with him and Sarah going inside the mine while the others stand guard outside. A large squad of Basherbots show up, so Preston, Sarah, and Calvin, and Haley, and Milky, and Monkey Butt, and Squeak, and Sassy, and Trees, and Swords, and Raichu, and Pokeball, and Microphone, and Clipboard, and Legends of the Hidden Temple name tag, and Mario, and Red Light Bulb, and Blanket, and Backpack, and Chair, and Star Trek toys, and TV, and mouse, and Power Rangers poster, and Master Sword, and Gosei Morpher, and Dreamcatcher, and Curtains. Morph.
Sure you're ready for this?
Yeah. I realize that the transformation process might not be the easiest thing, but the way you've described this upgrade to me, I think it's pretty important, and whatever happens, happens, right?
Okay then, stand in position.
I'm ready.
Activating transformation sequence now. Hey kid, don't sweat it. We knew this was gonna be a long shot.
I understand that. I just wish I knew what was wrong with it. I mean, how many times have we gone over this? I don't know what the flaw is.
You know, actually, I had an idea about that.
Really? You do?
Yeah, you see, I was thinking like one of them Power Ranger morphers. Maybe we need something to kind of centralize the energy. Right now, we're just trying to feed it to you all direct in style. Maybe we need some kind of doodad that'll help filter that energy somehow.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I've got an episode review to do. You and Kaizoku work on that, and get back to me and let me know how that goes.
Alright, we're on it. Good luck with the review.
Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and the long wait is finally over. 20 weeks. 20 long weeks since the last brand new episode of Power Rangers Ninja Steel. My hiatus videos may not be done, but the hiatus itself is. However, will it be a happy reunion or an eye-rolling, oh, you're back? Let's find out by taking a look at the 9th episode of Ninja Steel, Rocking and Rolling. We start things off on the Warrior Dome, which, for an odd change, now seems to be flying to the right instead of to the left, as Cosmo comes out and gives the audience some bad news. He can't seem to find this week's contestant, but that's because he's under the stage, busting out. His name is Stone Dozer, and kudos to Ninja Steel for giving us that information right up front and center. Keep doing that! Cosmo ups the ante by giving him upgraded grunts to use called Basherbots. The primary difference between the Basherbots and the Kudabots is different horns. Yeah, definitely worth an upgrade there. Anyway, even though it's been 5 real-world months since we've seen this story, apparently no time has passed in canon. Levi's Summer Cove concert is that night, and the Rangers are visiting the arena. However, Victor and Monty are standing outside wondering how they can get into the show. How about buying tickets? I mean, nothing at this point has established that the show is sold out, and there's a pretty big line right there that you can get into. But, of course, these two are the comic relief, so they begin plotting shenanigans. The Rangers head inside, and Brody declares, "This is epic!" Really, Brody? An empty arena? And you're not even on the stage? That's epic? Oh, and by the way, this is where they mention that the concert is sold out. I mean, either put sold out on that big video sign outside the arena, or have the Victor and Monty stuff after this line. Levi tells the other Rangers that he's very excited for this world tour that he's been working so hard on. The other Rangers are shocked by this news for some reason. Levi assures them that the Gold Ranger can get to any battle where they need his help, but thankfully Brody doesn't buy this. I mean, we don't have any evidence that these Rangers can teleport, so how much help could Levi be on a world tour? What help is he going to be? How fast can he get there if the Rangers call for his help and he's in Germany? The Rangers want to talk this over with Levi, but they're interrupted by Mary, the literal fangirl who won those backstage passes. Levi specifically exposits this, and I'm kind of torn on that. On the one hand, it's only been one day in canon, so why did he feel the need to point that out, especially when she already knows that, obviously? On the other hand, it has been 5 months in the real world, and most of the audience probably forgot who she was. Especially since she doesn't really look like the same girl. The two take a selfie together and, oh look, how cute! Levi loves cheeseburgers so much that he had a camera custom made to look like a cheeseburger. Okay, yes, so most of you are aware, but for those of you who don't know, that is the Gold Ninja Star Burger, the morpher that the Japanese version, Star Ninja, used to transform. That's what we could have had, folks. Our super serious Gold Ranger could have had to morph with that thing. The Rangers talk amongst themselves. Here's the topic. Levi's World Tour. Discuss. Apparently, none of them were aware that Levi was going on a world tour. Hey, 4 Rangers that aren't Brody? Screw you! Listen, all 4 of the Rangers, besides Brody, declared themselves huge fans, entered a contest to be declared Levi's biggest fan. Sarah and Haley said they would do anything to get backstage passes. Fans that big would have every date and location of that tour memorized. Heck, Sarah and Haley would probably follow the tour for its next couple of closest stops. And actually, I take the credit for Brody back. He's been hired as Levi's bodyguard. Somebody on the staff would have clued him in, or he would have seen posters with tour dates listed on them, something like that. There's no way any of the 5 Rangers wouldn't have known about Levi's World Tour by now. I understand why they don't know. It creates a conflict. However, doing it this way doesn't make any sense. Instead, have the Rangers be surprised that Levi is still planning to go, despite now being a Power Ranger. Their pondering is interrupted by a small earthquake. Seriously, the ground kind of rumbles for like 2 seconds. This wouldn't be enough to interrupt a meal or a conversation. The Rangers point out that this has been happening for a while now, and yes, that could point at a bigger earthquake, but it hasn't happened yet. And Mick calls the Rangers to say that he's triangulated the position that the quakes are originating from. By the way, if this had been happening for a while, they would not be preparing for a concert right now. That would be a public safety hazard to say the very least. The show would definitely be postponed until the arena staff could be assured that these quakes weren't pointing at anything more major. And at this point, Brody confirms the silliness that I was just mentioning, as he tells Levi that this is a lot of earthquakes, even for California. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Summer Cove is officially in California. So no, Brody, I don't think most Californians would consider this to be that big of a deal. That huge line of people outside the arena certainly don't. The Rangers want to go investigate the location, but Levi says his show is about to begin. No, it's not! There are staffers all over the arena. You still have guests inside the arena, and not one single member of the audience has been seated yet. Besides, you're the star. I'm sure you have an opening act for this concert that can extend things out a little longer while you go and investigate this. Anyway, Levi begs out, and though the Rangers are visibly irritated and frustrated by this, they accept it and go. The theme song sequence has been updated to include Levi's credit, and also shows us his Zord, his Megazord, and a combo Megazord form before we see any of them on the show itself. I cannot for the life of me understand why Power Rangers does this. It's pretty major spoilers. Now, I've said in the past that Victor and Monty are the best part of Ninja Steel. However, I guess the plot had me a little more engaged this week since it dealt with real human emotion and conflict. Because whenever they cut back to Victor and Monty this week, I found myself rolling my eyes. The two decide to sneak into the arena by hiding inside large trash cans. Great idea, guys! I'm absolutely sure the staffers rolling those trash cans into the arena won't feel two people sitting inside of them. However, when two staffers dump their lunch trash into the trash cans, they decide to ditch this plan. Fate favors them when they hear Levi's stage manager bark to get some speakers inside the arena. Meanwhile, the 5 Rangers are actually acting like ninjas. Okay, the flips and maneuvers and everything are a little bit unnecessary, but the ninja outfits and just actually acting like ninjas makes them 300 times better than the Sentai they're based on. They find the Basherbots moving some dirt and rocks around. "Those look like new monsters," Haley declares. Yep, those new horns sure make all the difference. Brody decides to split the team up, with him and Sarah heading inside the mine while the other 3 stand guard outside. A large squad of Basherbots show up, so Preston, Calvin, and Haley morph. Credit where it's due, I do believe that this is an original fight scene. However, it is the classic Power Rangers case of saying a new grunt type is tougher than the last while not showing us that. They kick the butt of the Basherbots just as easily as they did the Kudabots. Brody and Sarah overhear Stone Dozer's grand scheme. He plans to tunnel underneath the arena, create an even bigger earthquake to draw the Rangers out, and then fight them to take their power stars. The same thing that could be accomplished by, attacking the city. But Brody and Sarah are shocked at this. He plans to attack one single arena to draw us out? I mean, he's not attacking the city, not destroying multiple buildings and causing a lot of damage and death, but attacking the arena? You diseased maniac! So it turns out Levi is taking his 6th Ranger inspiration straight from the OG, Tommy. Brody tries to contact Levi in a panic to get him to call the concert off, but it's too late. The concert's already begun, and his communicator is backstage. After a commercial, Brody tries to contact Levi in a panic to get him to call the concert off, but it's too late. The concert has begun, and his communicator is backstage. Did I just repeat myself? Yep. But so did the show! I realize that this is a minor complaint, but I actually timed repeating the sequence over, and it was 12 seconds. 12 seconds does not seem like a long time, but I'm actually going to point out something that they could have done better with this time, instead of assuming that their audience are goldfish who can't remember major plot points for 2 minutes. Levi starts singing something, whatever it wasn't country music. And I'm not trying to be a snob, I don't even really count country music among my favorite styles anymore. It's just not country music. It's hard to say why not, but for me it was mainly that his voice doesn't have that twang in it, and his guitar doesn't sound country-styled. It's just that with as much as they have stressed that Levi Weston is a famous country singer, I was expecting his music to be pretty explicitly country. It did make me kind of laugh, though, thinking about what an actual Gold Ranger country song might sound like. My Zord broke down today. Galvanax was stomping away as my friend Sarah stood there and laughed at me. Preston did a magic spell, but it just made a sign to tell the whole world to look at the fool that was me. And I was tarnished gold. That battle really hurt my soul. It made me just a little less bold, 'cause I was tarnished gold. Brody dang near yells to Sarah that he can't get Levi on the communicator. Brody, Sarah is 6 inches to your left. I'm pretty sure she's aware of that. But of course, Brody had to yell something in order to alert Stone Dozer to their presence. Professional ninjas, everybody. Meanwhile, we cut back to the three Rangers who are still having no problem at all with the upgraded Bashers. Oh, no, wait, suddenly they're surrounded. Oh my gosh, how are they going to get out of... They pull their rivet rifles and clear out the entire circle in 2 seconds. This sequence pointed out a major problem of Ninja Steel for me. There's no tension. There's no dread. They don't hold out any serious, dangerous moments for longer than a single beat. Has this team lost a fight yet? Have they even been demorphed? I don't think this team has had its humbling moment yet. Suddenly, Brody and Sarah pop out of the ground like giant Power Ranger Pop-Tarts. As Preston warns everybody to watch out for the hole, they compare notes. They're gonna destroy everything! Yeah, if everything is one arena in a large city. The next sequence is actually a little hectic. First, we have Levi singing another not country pop song. Then, Victor and Monty's plan actually works. They pop out of the speakers and have their moment with Levi on stage before security tackles them into the instruments. But then, the major earthquake begins. The Rangers show up, take Levi backstage and fill him in, and he morphs. Major kudos here, by the way. The evacuation scene is fantastic Power Rangers. It makes them feel like Rangers, like superheroes, helping people get to safety. But then, a woman falls in the stairway, and Brody is literally right there, even as a wall starts crumbling next to her, and the two of them run off. Hold the tension! Maybe you'd have time to do that if you didn't waste 12 seconds repeating a scene. So, one-off past winner girl, who, by the way, we kept seeing shots of in the audience, looking dreamily at Levi, even though she's like 12, loses track of her dad outside. She screams, then the camera pans up, and then a piece of the roof breaks off and starts falling towards her. Levi, as the Gold Ranger, runs over and shoots it, which, to be honest, would just cause more pieces of the debris to be falling towards them. She hugs him and thanks him, calling him her hero, and then her dad suddenly reappears. And that's how Levi learned the true meaning of Christmas. I mean that being a Ranger is more important than his career. But oh man, they actually do know how to hold tension every once in a while. Ripcon tells Stone Dozer that all of the Rangers are back inside the arena so he can bring it down. Which he does. The arena actually collapses, and then the show goes to commercial. Are the Rangers going to be okay? Well, of course they were okay, because it turns out that they can teleport. Alright, not exactly teleport, it's more like zip run far distances. Brody calls it the speed of a ninja, and to be totally fair, it is kind of a trope of ninjas on television. The Ninja Storm Rangers were able to do it as well. Levi tells the Rangers that he'll take care of the monster, and they can go get the Basher bots. Levi, I do understand your thinking and desire for revenge, but last time I checked, Brody was the leader of this team. Levi's primary attack is the Storm Star, which has 2 modes, changed by flipping a small flap on it back and forth. The first is Tornado mode, which creates wind vortexes. He uses this to hit Stone Dozer with the Basher bots. Brody then tosses Levi the Ninja Clone Star, which I could have sworn was actually one of the past Sentai stars. So I looked into it, and I was right! It was the Kaku Ranger star that had the ability to make clones. Was this shot changed? We see the star briefly, and it is not the Kaku Ranger star. So this is now twice that the show has avoided past Sentai references. If the next season is supposedly going to feature past Rangers as an anniversary season, why would you avoid this? Anyway, the really neat thing about the Clone Star is that the real Ranger can actually use another Power Star, and all of the clones will stay on the battlefield and use that attack. Brody thinks that's epic! I think Brody needs a new catchphrase! The other mode of the Storm Star is Lightning mode, and I wonder if you can figure out what that one does. He zaps the monster using it, and then Brody uses the Clone Star, but Stone Dozer is still standing. Levi tells Brody to let this be a one-on-one fight and activates his finishing move, Storm Star Tornado Slashes. It encases the monster in a big slashing tornado. Now, some of you might be wondering why they bothered to establish that Levi does have that cheeseburger camera. Was that just a cute little tongue-in-cheek Sentai reference? Nope. Levi takes selfies with monsters as they're blowing up. He even gets them to say, "Cheeseburger!" before they explode. The Galaxy Warriors crowd decides to gigantify Stone Dozer, but I'm pretty sure it's because they knew that Levi had a new Zord to debut. Or should I say Zords, because when he activates the Bull Rider Zord Star, 2 new Zords arrive. One is the Robo Rider Zord, and the other is the Ninja Bull Zord. The Robo Rider Zord is basically a light blue version of Robo Red, and the Bull Rider Zord is a giant bull-themed ATV. By the by, run those 2 words together in your mind. Ninja Bull. The cockpit looks good, a nice neat gold bull logo, and extra little flair like a bullhead console. Levi gets his Ninja Master Mode star, and for whatever reason, that suit actually looks really good in Ninja Master Mode. It looks like the suit was made to be put together that way. Just like the other Rangers have, Levi declares how powerful all of this feels. I am really starting to hate that. Please, show us. Don't just tell us. Stone Dozer takes the bull by the horns, so the other Rangers decide that they should stop standing around and get in there. They form the Rumble Tusk Megazord. And no, I'm not saying the Ninja Steel part anymore. Levi notices a Zord Builder logo on his console and realizes that his Zords can combine. I mean, technically they're already combined when it's riding on the ATV, but you know what I mean. Anyway, he forms the Bull Rider Megazord. Do you see how much smoother that sounds than that big mouthful with the... Oh, wait, this actually is just the Bull Rider Megazord. Oh, I get it. The mouthful is probably the combined form. Okay, alright. Similar to how the Ninja Steel Megazord has a robo body sitting inside of its chest, the Bull Rider Megazord forms by having the ATV reform into a Megazord, with the Robo Rider Zord sitting on top, with a helmet star forming over its face. Rodeo Rapid Fire Final Attack from Levi, Double Axe Final Attack from the other Rangers, and Stone Dozer is rocking out. Over at Summer Cove High School, Levi is holding a press conference. Why is he holding the press conference at the high school? Because they only have a limited number of sets to use, of course. They would have had the press conference in the arena, but that's been destroyed in story, so that's out. Build a new set for the press conference? Apparently you've forgotten what show you were watching. Have we forgotten Coda's baseball press conference being held at the Dinobite Cafe so quickly? The little girl past winner runs up to Levi again. What is she doing there? She's not high school age. Is she stalking him or something? Well, maybe so, because she seems to have no personality of her own. Now, Levi's cool enough, but oh man, you guys, the Gold Ranger. Now she wants to be a hero when she grows up. You'll note, not a Power Ranger specifically, just a hero. As good as this episode was, boy oh boy, it does not end well. So Levi's press conference at the high school was to announce that he's postponing his world tour. I have several different issues with this. Number one, I feel like it flies directly in the face of things like Zordon telling Kimberly that Ranger duties shouldn't interfere with amazing opportunities in your own life. Two, how exactly are you going to explain this? I mean, the Rangers obviously understand, but anybody else is going to have a whole bunch of questions. Just imagine the Ranger World's equivalent of TMZ. They'd be going nuts. Three, the small crowd that is gathered there applauds this. Yeah, right. The Rangers would be happy, sure, but anybody else there should have been pissed off. Especially since Levi didn't say a single thing about making up the Summer Cove show. Levi apologizes to the other Rangers for not acting like a Ranger and says now he'll be here all the time. As a matter of fact, he never got to complete high school, so now he'll have his chance. And I'm sure that a world-famous country singer attending a normal high school isn't going to cause one single problem. Are you seriously telling me that he wasn't homeschooled while he was growing up, getting famous and touring? The comedy stinger for this episode is actually even worse. Mayor McBadMustache of Summer Cove presents a bravery award to Victor, who apparently broke every bone in his body saving people. When Haley points out that it's not fair for him to be getting an award when he didn't save anyone, Cody, who again apparently understands English, grabs his bandaging and runs off, revealing that he's fine. This was just a bad ending for the two of them, taking away from their character growth where we've seen them want to fight monsters and be a little heroic. Well folks, Ninja Steel is back, and I hope its instincts are sharp because it's time for me to toss some stars. Episode 9, Rocking and Rolling. Pros: Rangers feel like Rangers when evacuating the arena, plans that actually work out, and a good believable conflict. Cons: inability to hold tension, the same logic breaks and bad details I'm getting used to, and a rare miss from Victor and Monty. This episode had higher highs and lower lows, so it averages out to yet another 3 stars out of 5. The highlight of this episode was the Rangers evacuating the arena and getting everybody out. The funny thing about that is that it wasn't anything super-powered or amazing. It could have been done by paramedics, police officers, heck, even the arena's own staff. But it just made the Power Rangers feel like real heroes. They were in there saving as many people as they could and helping everyone. It just really made them feel more like the Power Rangers. So as I was writing this review, I noticed kind of a funny coincidence in this episode. There are 3 directly stated plans that all work out exactly as expected to. The first was Levi directing Ranger traffic, and he did get the job done there, so kudos. But more impressive than that to me was Stone Dozer. He had a very direct plan. Destroy the arena, get the Rangers' attention, and fight them for their power stars. And he actually pulled off the first 2. He destroyed the arena and got the Rangers' attention. He got the battle that he wanted, he just didn't win. It's kind of nice to see a villain's plan work out now and then. Heck, even Victor and Monty's plan to sneak into the arena in speakers, as dangerous and unbelievable as that was, actually did work out. Even they got what they wanted. And the conflict between Levi and the other Rangers was actually believable and not just something really cut and dried. The moral of the day actually related to being a hero and not just another kid's finger-wagging moral of the day. I actually don't exactly agree with Levi deciding to cancel his tour. To somebody who has seen as much of the show's history as I have, it just kind of feels like it conflicts with some of the tenets that have been established. Mainly what I mentioned about Zordon and Kimberly, that being a Power Ranger should not interfere with amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunities in your normal life. Yes, Kimberly was replaced as a Ranger at that point, and it's far too soon to consider something like that for Levi, but canceling the tour is just going to raise a lot of questions for anyone who doesn't know. I mentioned the Ranger World equivalent of TMZ, whatever that might actually be. It is just so easy to imagine a reporter from an organization like that going, hang on a second. The Gold Ranger showed up in Summer Cove at the exact same time Levi Weston did, and now that Levi's canceled his tour and says he's going to stay in Summer Cove, the Gold Ranger has been there ever since. Nevertheless, I counted it as positive because it's real life. It's real and sticky and complicated. Both the Rangers and Levi were right in what they were saying. And while that led to a resolution that was somewhat unbelievable, the conflict itself was enjoyable. What's not enjoyable is how gently this show is treating its audience. We had one moment of actual tension in this episode, the arena being destroyed, and the show then going to commercial before we knew if the Rangers were okay. Otherwise, you have the Rangers saying that the new grunts are tougher than the last ones despite kicking their butts just as easily. You have Brody saving a woman 1 second after she fell down. You have Levi saving a little girl moments after she screamed. I just wish the writers would respect the audience a little bit more and introduce just a touch more dread into the story. The Victor and Monty stuff was just not good this week. The two of them have felt somewhat like Bulk and Skull, in their comic relief, but also having that undercurrent of heroism and wanting to help and be good people. But all of that crumbled away this week. They sneak into a concert that they didn't pay to attend, cause a safety hazard by going up onto the stage unauthorized, and then when the attack comes, they run like cowards. That's not the bad part, a lot of people that were there did, but then tried to take credit for saving people when they didn't actually do so. It was just a big character backstep for them, and I found it far more sad than I did funny. And all of those freaking logic breaks again. Just little things in the episode that continued to build up as it went on. It actually led me to a genuine question. Does the Power Rangers writing staff have an editor? So I looked at the credits and it turns out the story editor is Chiplin himself. It's just all these little things that build up and make me go, wait, what? It really made me wonder if these scripts are getting an independent lookover. Here's my list of problems this week. Victor and Monty wondering how they're going to get into the concert before the audience learns the concert is sold out. The other Rangers not knowing that Levi was going on a world tour when 4 of them claim to be mega fans of his, and the 5th is his personal Summer Cove bodyguard. The Rangers and Mick all freaking out over a series of small earthquakes when they live in California. All preparations for the concert continuing despite a series of apparently concerning earthquakes. Levi says the concert is about to start when it clearly isn't. Victor and Monty thinking nobody would notice them hiding in trash cans. The Rangers being that concerned with a monster planning to destroy a single building. Brody yelling to Sarah that he can't contact Levi when she's 6 inches to his left and already knew that. The little girl being at the high school for the press conference for seemingly no reason. Seriously, did Levi invite her? She would have been sad to hear this news. Levi canceling his world tour and not only not being questioned about it, but applauded for it. Do you see what I mean? I feel like Ninja Steel's actually not all that bad of a season thus far, but it suffers the death of 1,000 tiny cuts, which is something I feel like I've actually said about Ninja Steel in the past. When I wrote out 3 out of 5 for this episode, I actually hesitated for a second and wondered if the episode actually was a 4. Maybe without all of that stuff, or even half of that stuff, it would be, but with everything piled on like that, just dragged it down. But believe it or not, in the end, this episode actually left me feeling slightly hopeful for Ninja Steel. There was a noticeable, genuine spike in the writing quality this week. The way the Rangers acted, their characters, their personalities, both morphed and unmorphed, were better than I remember from the first 8 episodes of Ninja Steel. Yes, it was still just your standard 3 out of 5 Ninja Steel, but that's due to problems that I really believe are fixable, and hopefully they started figuring this out over time. And in fact, even the summary of the next episode of Ninja Steel looks like it's possibly a good story, with some nice conflict and character building. Here's a peek at episode 10 of Ninja Steel, The Ranger Ribbon. When Summer Cove's sentimental ribbon tree is in danger of being cut down by Preston's wealthy dad, Preston must learn to stand up to his father to save what's important. That's going to wrap up the return of the Power Rangers Ninja Steel episode reviews. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I am still working on the hiatus videos, and will be releasing those right alongside the Ninja Steel reviews. Make sure to like the video by clicking that like button, the thumbs up icon right down below. In the comments below, let me know what you thought of Rocking and Rolling and of my review of it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to see all my videos, and ring that bell icon so you're notified of whenever I post new videos like this review. And if you'd like to toss a little support to my channel, you can go to digitaltipjar.com/OrangeRangerVid, and I would greatly appreciate any support that you can provide. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. Meanwhile, Victor and Monty are standering. Levi says that the Gold Ranger can get to any battle where they need his help, but thankfully, Bart! The Rangers are shocked by this news for some reason, and yeah, now it's... Levi assures them that the Gold Ranger can get to any battle where he needs their help, Yeah, that made sense. On one hand, in canon, it's only been 1 day, so why did he need to feel the... Augusta GA. Call from 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 Augusta GA. This wouldn't interrupt a meal or a conversation. A large squad of bastard bed. So Preston, Haley, and Calvin morph. I was about to say the part about the vertical full screen, and then I remembered that I cut that out. It just sounds like generic pop music. I'll just do it again. And the guitar... His voice didn't have that twang in it. And the guitar didn't sound country-styled. She is aware of that. But, of course, Brody had to get them. Just... No. Anyway, the really neat thing about the Clone Star is that, One, this flies directly in the face of things like Zordon telling Kimberly that amazing, As good as this episode was, boy oh boy does it not end well. 3, the small crowd that's gathered the comedy stinger is actually even worse. Mayor Big Bad, police, even the arena's own staff. It just, yeah. The highlight of this episode was the evacuation sequence but it just made the Power Rangers feel like real heroes, like they were really helping people. And the conflict between Levi and the other Rangers was actually believable and, not cut and dry. Otherwise, you had stuff happening that was stuff. The Victor and Monty stuff was just not good this week. Levi canceling his world tour and not only not being immediately questioned,